it's me, Craig. Welcome to Flooded, and this is part 2 of my two-parter about not Douglas Murray, Russell T Davies, Douglas's brother, Russell T Davies, the writer, the showrunner, and of Doctor Who. He wrote it until he got bored. He said, but he's an avid fan. He absolutely loves it, but he got bored actually being the person in charge of it. But he absolutely loves it. He's a massive fan. Are you getting the picture of what I'm saying here? This chap, right? I would love to know what he's really like. I imagine he's really annoying. He's probably really nice and probably very kind, but there's such a performance in his demonstration of niceness. Look out for it. You know, the red carpet stuff when he's being interviewed. There's a performance of niceness, and I wonder how, you know, that's kind of an awareness of what people think of you. But he's also somebody who, when you research him, when you do Google searches or YouTube searches for him, there's so much out there that's political. It'll be a little bit about, BBC streaming, or it'll be about gay rights, or it'll be, sort of little political things that he's kind of like using his celebrity that he has now to try and fix. Now, it's all very well me criticizing that, but that's happened sort of forever. If you look back to like television in the like 80s and the 70s and the 60s, there were always writers doing sort of political agenda driven material, and covering all sorts of issues of the day, and they were seen then as being very edgy. And they weren't, but today it's different because everything's so polarized. If you're not like in America, for example, if you're not on the left, you're a Nazi. And to a certain extent, that exists here too. There's absolutely no give at all for anybody who doesn't follow a certain political ideology, that the side that is right, and not the right side, but the correct side, the side who are correct. Everything they say and do is absolutely correct. And then, of course, the people on the other side say, well, everything they say and do is correct. And I find it like soul destroying when I see this inability for people to listen to each other, to what they're saying. Russell T Davies is one of these people where he was, I can probably find it. He basically did and accepted an award. I won't play it because it doesn't play on Twitter 2.0. Videos don't play very well. This one doesn't. But this is like from, I don't know when it happened. But Russell T Davies was slammed the government as rabid wounded dogs at the South Bank Sky Arts Awards. In this video he posted on social media, he had a message for Tory voters. You are voting for murderers, B-word abusers and liars. So, that there is the polarization I'm talking about. If you if you're somebody who votes for murderers and liars, what does that make you in his eyes? You know, millions of people voted for these murderers, abusers, and liars. So he must have this massive disregard for a massive section of the British community. So for me, it's just silly. It's ridiculous. In fact, as in this tweet, we got Douglas Murray saying just that. I'll blow it up a little bit. He says, what a ridiculous man Russell T Davies is, whips himself up into a lather and ends up claiming that the Conservative Party are murderers, among other things. The people applauding are the same people who pretend to care about civility and truth in politics. And that's kind of the point. You check the Twitter biogs, and what you see is be nice to each other, and then they don't be nice. They go out and don't be nice. I'm not going to labor it anymore. I'm just pointing that out because when I came to my passion's television. I'm interested in this channel being about television and film, and that's what I want to talk about. Russell T Davies is a writer for probably the BBC's flagship, one of their flagship shows, Doctor who they've now sort of, given away to Disney. I don't know, some distribution rights. BBC can't get its distribution sorted out, can it? It's giving it away its shows to BritBox I know it's probably getting commercial income from that, but you've got your own platform. You're nuts to make this stuff of it. I don't know. Make it exclusive to iPlayer. And this is what I want to make this video about, because here's another video of Russell talking about he believes the battle is won for the license fee at the BBC. Currently we pay 156. I don't, but everyone else, or some people, most people in the UK pay 156 pounds a year to the BBC. That's about 13 pounds a month for the privilege of its output. Now there are lots of conversations going on about that it's biased, and there's presenters leaving left, right, and centre and forming left-wing driven political news agencies like the News Agents. That's a podcast which is now all over Twitter, and they are doing really well. Emily Maitlis, various other people, John Sopel, all these ex-BBCers, bitter, and the true colours of where they were politically has come out now they've left. So the accusations that were made when they were in there turned out they were probably true. Although you can easily also, people are also saying that the BBC is on the right. So politics, everything's politics all the time with television. And it's occupying so much. Why can't we just talk about whether shows are good or not? And why can't I be here talking about that? Why do we have to talk about this? But I am BBC trained. I was trained at the BBC for 2 years. They paid. I got 15 grand a year as a trainee. They 4,000 people applied for the traineeship I did, and they accept 8 people. So I was massively. I don't want to say the word privileged because I hate it, but I was super skilled. That's what I was to get that job. Turned out it wasn't. Wasn't my super skills, it was my accent. They wanted rid of the Oxbridge sound, and they wanted people who weren't too smart but had interesting accents like I did. So that's what I found out at a party one night. So I then went about trying to prove myself. But 2 years I worked there, and when my traineeship finished, I left and went to work for Channel 5, I think it was. So the BBC funded me, trained me up to go and work at Channel 5. That's how ludicrous a place that is right now. And it's never really sort of changed. If anything, it's got a lot worse. And it's a huge shame, because I had so much pride in the brand while I was working at the BBC, and every day was just I was awestruck with its history, and just it as an institution. As far as I was concerned, they were the best program makers in the world. In terms of their approach to making in television. They had a sensible, trustworthy, solid, professional attitude. And as soon as I saw producers and researchers coming in from outside the BBC who were smoking in the rooms and calling the members of the public pond life, and all these attitudes of very laid back, unprofessional, slouchy attitudes that were coming in, I started getting more and more snobby about being at the BBC. And then I realized that the BBC probably needs to change. It probably needs to not be such a stiff board, a stiff, shouldn't be so, should just relax a little bit, lighten up. And that's exactly what they tried to do. And as that started to happen, then, as new people came in and freelancers came in, the BBC guidelines became less of an important thing, because you'd hire a producer for the duration of making a show from the outside. They weren't no longer the pension saving lifer that the BBC used to have. So people came along, and the BBC guidelines are straight out the window. When I started there, it was drummed into me like a Bible. You must abide by this. And we had it next to us, next to the phone, and we were constantly referencing it. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? And checking that we were absolutely ticking every box in the BBC guidelines. And that kind of just went to pot, because, you're only there for 3 months. Who cares? I'll just do the funkiest show. I'll do the show I used to make over ITV or Channel 4 or Channel 5. That's what you hired me for. That's what I'm going to do. Forget your stiff, horrible rules. I'm not going to go by them. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there you are. So back to Russell T Davies. I do get there eventually. This is see what he says about. He thinks the battle for the BBC is actually already lost.
The fight. You can submit some opinions.
I'll take it back a little bit.
There isn't a fight. You can submit some opinions to a green paper. It's as with John Whittingdale, the Culture Secretary in Edinburgh, said, oh no, we're not looking at privatising Channel 4. And he lied to the entire country, because now, today, it turns out that, of course, and we know this in the industry, yes, they are looking at privatising Channel 4. And
well, there's a difference between I'm going to be stopping it for transformative reasons. But there's a difference between saying, no, we don't have any plans to privatise Channel 4, and then they said, oh, we are going to privatise Channel 4. I think that there is a difference between saying we've got no plans and then maybe maybe later they got plans to what they're going to do with Channel 4. He's kind of saying he's a liar. I think you need to know for sure. I don't know. I think if that is the case, if they were lying, as he believes they're murderers and liars, according to his previous statements he's made, then I would need receipts for that. But I'm prepared to believe him, but I don't know. It's not enough to just hear him say it.
Everyone behind the scenes has known this for a long time. They are absolutely dead set against dismantling the BBC and turning it into a subscription service. It's just a fact. And I'm not having it's very easy for someone like me to sit and have a go at the Tories.
Okay, so he's saying that the Tories are against it. I don't know if that's entirely true. I'm sure there are other parties who are also against the BBC staying a license fee. The charging of us of £13 a month is kind of something people have a problem with. More so because if you have to pay it, or you can't watch any TV. I mean, you can't watch any live TV. I mean, any TV that's been broadcast through the network, even if it's not a BBC show, you have to pay the BBC license fee. Some money goes to Channel 4, I believe, but you have to. And if you don't, a third-party company hires these chaps with laminate badges to come round and put their foot in your door to try and get access to fine you £1,000 or whatever it is. Maybe 3. I can't remember exactly how much it is. But yeah.
In fact, they're just being very honestly Tories. Tories believe in the free market against the state. If you believe in the free market, this is the way to do it.
So the BBC also believe in the free market, and so do a lot of businesses that are run for people who vote for Labour, I would have thought.
Make it a business. So they're not lying. They're actually being very true to themselves. And we're going to have another 10 years of this government. In 10 years' time, everything we understand. That's
not me breathing down the microphone. That's whoever he's talking to. Somebody is just breathing down their mic.
And the BBC to be will be gone. And what I wanted, but when I asked Alison if I could do this, what I do today is like, if we start to talk about the BBC is so huge, we will end up criticising it in some shape or form. Every defender of the BBC has a very hard time defending it, because obviously there's always some corner where it's going wrong. It's like defending a city. You could sit here and talk about how marvellous London is. There are corners of London you can't defend. It's the same with the BBC.
Well, maybe we should only pay some of our license fee, because license fees are so large. Why should you? There's going to be some times where you can't pay all of it. I don't know. I know about this. I mean, he's making. I kind of see his point.
Try and defend it. You get stuck. You get stuck on the problems and the details. So what you have to do is what we are heading towards, what the government wants, and what is going to happen, because I honestly think this battle has been lost, is we're heading towards some sort of subscriber service. And what the mistake then is made is that everyone, and this was in like the radio.
This is what we want, a subscriber service, guys. Are we going for it? Come on, subscribing.
Subscriber service like HBO.
Yeah, HBO.
Like HBO. Finest. One of the finest
broadcasters in the world. HBO's brilliant.
I will pay my subscription fee.
Yeah.
I will join in with HBO.
Great shows. Curb Your Enthusiasm, fantastic.
In this country have no idea what HBO is.
Oh, don't we?
Or what it means.
Oh.
And I spent the past few days.
Well, it's on a website. We can go and read it.
It's that. And I went ahead. I have to look at my phone to get some details.
Do that. Have a look at your phone.
On HBO. So you've got 7 channels: HBO, HBO 2, HBO Signature,
fantastic.
HBO Family, HBO Comedy, HBO Zone, HBO.
Excellent.
Sound marvelous. You pay for that $15 a month, which is $180.
I don't think that's true. I don't think it's down to 7, but okay.
$180 a year, which equals like £118. So it's cheaper than the license fee. We think that's brilliant. What you get.
Awesome. Brilliant. Now, I've got a point to make here. He's just said you pay $118 a year. No, you don't. What you do is, what we have, if I just come back out of this, what we have right here in this country, or any country in the world, is a system where you have HBO Max. Now, I checked this. I got it at £8. So what I will do is I will find out what shows on HBO Max. I will pay £8. Plus, I'll pay my first month for free. Thank you very much. And usually when you sign up these companies, you can just change your email address and get a month for free. I will pay. So that's not it's not times 12, is it? So I'll pay for my HBO Max when they've got a good series on that I want to watch. Maybe they've got all the Curb Your Enthusiasms on it. All 8 years of it. And I'll binge watch it all summer. And that's worth £8 to me. And then I'll cancel. That's the joy of it. You're not tied into a 12-month contract, and nobody's going to try and get their foot in your door if you don't do it. Or I've just been going through Disney. I've just watched all the Marvel films back to back. Plus, I've been watching Mandalorian. It's all done now. There's nothing there for me anymore. I'm going to be cancelling it. I've had it for a month, so that's £8 I've spent just to watch every episode of the Avengers movies, every film. I've also watched some of the spin-off TV shows. I've been having a great time. I'm done with it. Going to cancel it. Netflix, don't have it anymore. Borrowed it off my friend. He said he gave me access. They're bringing that back. They're going to let that continue. So that's free. So that's good. Even though I think we're cancelled at the minute because there's nothing on Netflix. I've not really found anything on there I miss. I have got a subscription to Paramount Plus. It's fantastic. That's where all my Star Trek stuff is. I will probably be cancelling that soon because Picard season 3 is now over. And I've never watched Hulu. Don't know anything about it. Won't bother with it. Apple TV. Got friends who've got that. Not really interested. Nothing on there for me. Might sign up for it one day if they do a good show. YouTube Premium. Highly recommended. I use it. Don't see any adverts on YouTube whatsoever. Absolutely brilliant experience. I spend a lot of time and energy in YouTube, and you are too by watching this video. So we all love YouTube. I would just pay it. It's a good deal, I think. Amazon Prime, I've had that almost like forever. Amazon Prime is quite good because they have pretty much every film ever. And if they don't have the rights to show that film, to stream that film, you can usually pay a minimum sort of £3.50 or something to watch a film you particularly want to watch, which is just like the old days of going down Blockbuster Video and hiring a video. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So Amazon Prime is a good service. I don't know if I keep it or not. I probably will. There's something called Now for £10. No thanks. Then there's BrickBox, which I believe is £10. That's what I saw this today. BrickBox is BBC are giving away some of its material to BrickBox, which I think is insane because I think the BBC should have everything on the iPlayer. So here's my alternative to what Russell T Davies has said. I think that what we need to do is have paid subscription to the BBC. I don't know why that's messed up the S there on the screen, but paid subscriptions is what we need. And this is my solution to help save the BBC, which is something I want to do. So with your paid subscription, you'll get all BBC news and events. You'll get all the BBC shows that are ever made. You'll get VODs of the last 3 months of everything they've ever made. You'll get access to the full BBC archive. That's since 1922. Everything they've ever made. TV shows, interviews, everything you enjoy watching as some sort of muddy, messy, bad audio clip on YouTube will be on your iPad and in the iPlayer app on your screen, on your TV for you to watch at your leisure. How phenomenal would that be? No adverts. And now I don't know how much I would charge for free subscriptions. Maybe £7 a month. Maybe be a bit competitive. £7 a month sounds not too bad. And £7 a month might sound like to you, well, that's not going to make them enough money, is it? That's why you have free subscriptions, because with free subscriptions, you also get, and I think because of the Royal Charter and whatnot, you have to keep the BBC, the public informed and perform a free service. So BBC News and Events with ads, all BBC shows with ads, VODs of the last 7 days. Oh no, you're not getting the full 3 months with ads. No archive, boo-hoo, you don't get nothing, and regular adverts. These sort of things seem to make sense to me. I think that if the BBC did have some subscription service, it would save them. They would make a fortune from the advertising, and they'd be able to invest more time in becoming the world-class broadcaster that they used to be. They should be ditching everybody who demands a pay packet over, I don't know, let's say 130 grand. Anyone over 130 grand, you go off to ITV Channel 4. The BBC should be creating stars, and when these stars get too big for the boots or they're getting offered much more money from ITV, bye-bye, off you go. Go and work for that inferior company, because the BBC have pride in the fact that they are world-class. This would mean that they would need to downsize as well. They don't need to have all these regional radio stations around the world. For example, up here in Yorkshire, we got Radio Sheffield, Radio Leeds, Radio York. All these BBC stations could very easily be minimised to just regions, so like Yorkshire, BBC, like that. Do something much simpler. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Russell T. Davis, who thinks that the subscription is a bad idea and gave a totally false knowledge about how people use streaming services there. I'd just be very interested to know your opinion on both Russell T. Davis, the political writer, and also the views that you have on BBC subscriptions and whether you think that's the way forward for it as an organisation. Have a lovely day. Catch you later.